different situations where your hair will break and you're not really connecting it to that situation. Usually when hair is breaking, it's alarming, and a lot of us, we do a lot of things that to try to prevent it or stop it from breaking at that moment because it is alarming. But the truth is, some situations happen in our life that hair has to go through that season. Like no matter what you do, that hair is going to break, and it's only temporary. And I want to share like maybe 4 or 5 different situations. Hey. Welcome to another video. Welcome to the Baggio channel. This is the home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that'll help you to become the most empowered version of you. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Today, we're basically still talking about hair care and different situations where your hair will break and you're not really connecting it to that situation. Usually when hair is breaking, it's alarming, and a lot of us, we do a lot of things that to try to prevent it or stop it from breaking at that moment because it is alarming. But the truth is, some situations happen in our life that hair has to go through that season. Like no matter what you do, that hair is going to break, and it's only temporary. And I want to share like maybe 4 or 5 different situations that oftentimes that hair will break, and it breaks in different ways. Like sometimes people will lose it completely around their edges. Sometimes people will just have a certain spot in their hair that's like shedding or breaking. Or other times you'll have like a complete overall like thinning. Like just everything just seems to be thinning out or just breaking. What I recommend after you've had a child, when you, and especially with your hair, continue taking your prenatal vitamins even after you've had your baby. Like continue allowing the body to be as, for that hormonal drop to not be so immediate. And that's what happens when the hormones are dropping and being something that they haven't been. They're completely trying to realign with what your body is without a baby. Because when you're carrying a child, it's like your body is compensating. Even if you're not eating certain things, the body compensates to make sure that baby is nourished. And so once that baby is delivered, it's like the body is like kind of trying to go through this homeostasis situation where it's trying to like find its own footing. And in that process, my God, I have seen people lose tons of hair. I've seen people lose complete hairlines, edges come out, bald spots everywhere, and they are going bananas. But it's all because your body is rebalancing. That's one of the that's one of the bigger reasons that I've seen. Another thing that people do not take into account, if you've been hospitalized, if you've been in the hospital for any certain amount of time, or for whatever the reason, sometimes when you're having these, when you're being fed medication constantly, or you're in the hospital for whatever the reason, when you're in there and you come out, or if you've had like surgery, you know, and when you having surgery, they use these anesthesias or these different medicines, and once that surgery is over and you come out of the hospital, those chemicals are leaving the body. Again, the body is trying to find the balance. The body is trying to find the balance. No matter what you go through in life, and I'm only speaking specifically for hair at this moment, but it actually, it translates into every kind of part of our body. When you go through something, certain parts of your body compensates for something that is lacking. And in this particular context, when you've been in the hospital and you've had like a surgery, you could think that this is minor surgery. Or even if you've just been in the hospital, maybe on an IV drip, or maybe they've had whatever you've been through in the hospital, a lot of times when you come out of the hospital, you see your hair start to shed. Because the body, again, is trying to rebalance. Maybe you've just gone through a certain type of sickness and your body is recovering and getting better. In that period and in that phase of life, a lot of times that hair will shed. And oftentimes it goes back to, it's still hormonal. Our hormones go through different shifts in life so many times, and it's like, it took me a long time to kind of put that together and figure out what was happening to my hair at certain points. And I never thought about hormones. I never thought about it. Think about it. Hormones signal so many things in our life. So many things in it. And it is responsible for so much that we do. So oftentimes when your hormones are off balance or is trying to rebalance, you will lose hair and you will shed hair. So that after having a baby, 100%, when you've been in the hospital for a certain amount of time and you've had like a surgery or just been in the hospital recovering from a sickness or trying to be treated for a certain sickness, and when you come out of the hospital, you'll see your hair like shedding. Like it can be so alarming that after it stops shedding, you will see that you have lost hair. That the density and the texture of your hair often will change, but it's only temporary. Another event or situation that can happen where you can really lose hair a lot is when you're going through like a traumatic situation in your life, like a really high stress periods in your life. That, that can be anything. You could, the emotional trauma, again, throws off your hormones and everything else that's connected to it. When you are extremely stressed, when you lose somebody, when you've lost somebody in death, or maybe lost somebody in a relationship, when you're going through a lot of family crisis, you could be going through job stressors, you can lose a lot of hair. And a lot of everything, a lot of other things too. But I'm speaking only about hair. Be aware of what you're going through so that when certain things begin to happen, right, in your life, that you can kind of put it together and say, hey, this is why this is happening. And you could try to rebalance, right, your life at that moment to try to bring it together. I understand that high stress moments and having a baby or going through surgery, those are things you can't stop. They happen. But to be aware that they're happening and to know what to do when it's happening. Like, I know one thing that I always tell pregnant women when they have their baby, keep taking your prenatal vitamins. Don't stop taking your prenatal vitamins. Please don't. When you come out of hospital during a surgery, whatever medication you have to be on, you have to be on it. But try your best to try to eat as healthy as you can. Oftentimes our foods that we eat triggers hormonal imbalances. The hormonal thing is so deep, and I feel like even as a child, I've never learned about it. I had to find out about it through my doctor, and then I started to kind of research and look up like what's happening to my body. But I only named 3 things. I'm going to do another video with a few more things that can completely destabilize your hair growth and just cause it to shed. And you have to just be proactive, understanding that these things will happen. That's why it's so important that even before these life events happen, because life happens, try to eat as healthy as you can, try to maintain levels, try to balance your stress levels, as difficult as that may be. I always say you have to learn how to stay in prayer. Prayer, one of the biggest ways that I have found in my life to just reduce my stress and calm me down, because I'm realizing that I'm not in control and I have to let it go. But and what so many things stress you when you're going through situations on your job, and it's just the pressure or all these different variables that happen in a workplace can really stress a person out to the point where people have heart attacks, people have strokes, they go through. And a lot of times, maybe that may not happen to you, but you'll be such in a constant state of stress that your hair start falling out. And you trying to figure out maybe it's a style that you're wearing or something's happening. No, you're going through something. Your hormones are out of whack. Your nerves is out of whack. Everything is out of whack. And being aware of it is one of the biggest ways that I would say that for you to bring it back into alignment, to know, okay, this is something that I'm going through. This would be it. And then you start to kind of realign the best that you can, because it's only temporary. Once you come through that situation, your hair starts to gain its strength back. It starts to grow better. It stops breaking. It was just a season. So yeah, I'm actually gonna do another video, part 2, on this same topic, because I have a few more things that I know, and it's a lot of different variables, but I'm just talking about those pronounced ones that I see all the time that I wanted to share with you. But just to know, be aware, you know what I mean? That's why it's so important for you to take care of yourself now, so that even when your body goes through certain things, that have a little more resilience to be able to kind of fight back, or to be able to go through those different patches and those stress areas in life. So I thank you for listening. This is the Bajo channel, home of self-care, beauty, wellness, and any and everything that will help you to become the most empowered version of you. Thank you again for listening, and remember that self-care, it is the best care. Later.